Fire is a terrible tragedy, but there is none so tragic in recent memory as the horrible senior home fire in Ilvert, Quebec on January 23, 2014.
Apart from the tragic stories of lives lost, there are courageous tales of survival and rescue. 84-year-old Arnaud Coté not only made it out alive, he helped 3 of his neighbors get out too.
Arnaud Coté's story doesn't take long to tell because everything played out in seconds. He was in bed in his second-floor room at the Résidence du Havre when the fire alarm went off. Coté went to his window.
Je regarde à ma gauche un peu, le feu sortait par la couverture.
I looked to the left, he says, and I could see flames coming out of the roof. As the fire swept through one part of the building, Coté did what he could in the other. Through thick smoke, he banged on doors, trying to wake people up. He was able to get 3 residents out of their rooms and wanted to get more.
J'ai essayé d'aller plus loin dans la fumée, là.
I tried to go further into the smoke, but it was too thick, he says. I saved the 3 I could.
When fire spreads so quickly, it's particularly tragic for residents who cannot move quickly. The loss of a structure is hardly important if lives can be saved because they have enough time to evacuate safely. That's what FireFree Coatings is all about, granting time to save lives and possibly even the home. The following video was taken at the Georgia State Fire Symposium in 2007. The symposium was sponsored by the Georgia State Fire Marshal's Office, the Georgia State Insurance and Safety Commission, the Georgia State Fire Inspectors Association, and the Georgia Public Safety Commission. The State Fire Marshal's Office invited FireFree Coatings to demonstrate their product's ability to provide effective fire protection when applied to vinyl siding assemblies and to demonstrate a fire's potential to rapidly spread to eaves, attics, and roof structures.
Vinyl siding buildings present some highly dangerous situations and unique problems for fire response teams, especially in rural communities faced with limited fire protection service and longer response times. You will see that structures coated with FF88 will not only stay intact with little or no damage, but will also contain and retard the fire in order to allow for greater response time and increased safety, not only for the occupants, but for the firefighters as well. 3 separate identical panels were constructed with the following differences. Panel 1 on the far left was constructed of vinyl siding applied over OSB board. The eaves are open and contain a standard galvanized eave vent. Panel 2 in the center was similarly constructed, except the siding was coated directly with FF88 fire-resistant coating in a brown color. This panel simulates the exterior walls of a previously constructed vinyl siding building and illustrates the effect of FF88 when used in retrofit of existing construction. Panel 3 on the near right is identical to the others except the OSB sheathing was coated with FF88 fire-resistant coating and the vinyl siding was applied over FF88 coated OSB sheathing, and the siding was painted with the standard exterior paint in a green color for identification purposes. This panel simulates the use of FF88 when used in new construction. The simulated fuel source for all 3 panels is a 20-pound wood crib with additional Excelsior filler to allow a fuel source matching the criteria of the Factory Mutual 4880 room corner test. The sources of ignition for this demonstration are identical amounts of alcohol, and as you can see, the actual ignition timing is very near simultaneous. As you can see, the uncoated vinyl siding on the far left, panel 1, is already starting to distort, and the initial consumption of the siding begins at about 25 seconds into the demonstration. At approximately 40 seconds into the test, the uncoated siding on panel 3 on the rear right is starting to distort, and the flame source on this panel will soon reach the FF88 coated OSB sheathing. The siding supported by the FF88 coated sheathing on panel 3 is still intact and shows little indication of the fire's effect. At 3 minutes 45 seconds, the uncoated siding on panel 1 at the far left is nearly consumed and the flame is now attacking the eaves. Meanwhile, the flames of panels 2 and 3 have progressed approximately halfway up the simulated wall and show no indication of fire having reached the eaves, attic, or roof structure. At approximately 5 minutes into the demonstration, the wall structure, the eaves, and the overhang of panel 1 are completely involved in flames. On the other hand, flames on panel 2 and 3 still have not progressed beyond the halfway point of the exterior wall and is of no threat to the eaves, attic, or roof structure. 7 minutes into the demonstration, the rafters of panel 1 show an early indication of the exterior fire reaching within the simulated attic area. Panels 2 and 3 show no indication of a similar fire entry into the attic areas. 3 minutes and 25 seconds later, the fire in panel 1 has engulfed the attic and roof areas and is well on its way to threatening the life of the occupants as well as the life and safety of the fire response team members. It is a well-documented fact that ceiling and roof fires hold the most potential for total, out-of-control destruction by fire. Conversely, at panels 2 and 3, the fire has progressed no further and flames never reach the eaves, attic, or roof structures. At a little less than 12 minutes, the uncoated panel on the left is totally consumed and destroyed. The entire structure would, in most cases, have been engulfed in flames and totally destroyed. At the same time, the brown-colored FF88 coated panel in the center and the green-coated panel on the right are still intact, and there is no spread of flame or threat of fire spreading to the eaves, attic, or roof structure. Once again, FireFree 88 spearheads a new generation of fire retardant and fire-resistant coatings, bringing a new level of fire safety ability and adding a new tool against the life and property-threatening disaster of fire.
This kind of rapidly spreading fire is partly what led to the loss of life in Hilbert and to the total loss of structure. Even where fire sprinklers are not installed, FireFree Coatings can act to slow the spread of fire and to allow more time for residents and other occupants to evacuate the building.